on, you Cajun-loving Americans out there? I'm your host, Isaac Hayes, on this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you're located, because remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so happy to be with you here today and you to be joining me on this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, a great weekend. Great weekend. I'm going to talk about the Ron DeSantis versus Gavin Newsom debate. Ladies and gentlemen, I was on Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, not Twitter. X. I was on X and I was posting. I don't know how many people went ahead and saw it, but yeah, I had a good opinion. And look, I thought it was going to be an hour long. It was an hour and a half, and it almost went an additional 20 minutes. But at the end of it, both the candidates were like, "Listen, we got stuff we had planned before. We can't go ahead and do it again." And look, this was probably a saver for Gavin Newsom because he was getting destroyed in this debate. Now I know a lot of my people, my friends on the left, would tell me, Isaac, no, Gavin Newsom did a great job. And we're going to talk about what I seen in this debate and some of my highlights I saw. Ladies and gentlemen, it was heated. It was a very heated, passionate debate between two people that their ideology is totally separated. And look, I've been in rooms like that. I've been in rooms where I totally disagree with the individual that's across from me, or in some cases on the other side of the screen. And ladies and gentlemen, we have never gotten that heated, but you could just tell that whatever you say, they're still going to say, "No, we don't believe you." You can show them the facts, you can show them the opinions, and we seen that on Thursday night with this debate, how Gavin Newsom, and I'm going to probably elaborate more on that later on, but Gavin Newsom saw a stat from the CDC and looked at Sean Hannity and said, "That is wrong. This is what I'm correct." And Sean Hannity and Ron DeSantis is scratching their heads. It's like, this is from the CDC. And we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But before we do that, if you can, please hit the subscribe button or the follow button. If this is your first time listening to the show, welcome to the Cajun Conservative family. Always happy to have you here. If you are a continual listener of the show, please tell your friends and family about us by text, email, or even a phone call. Call somebody that you know is political and say, "Listen, man, you should go ahead and listen to this guy, the Cajun Conservative." Also, I'm proud to announce I finally got some trolls. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this show. It's gonna be 3 years, or it just passed 3 years. We made 3 years because I started in November of 2020, right after the presidential election. That was one of my first shows talking about the 2020 election. And ladies and gentlemen, I for 3 years, I finally got some trolls, and they're on TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, I made a video, and I wish I could make more TikTok videos, but life sometimes gets in the way. And I saw a video of Marco Rubio and just saying what I've been saying about the Hamas war, how this is Hamas's fault that all this is happening. And I just went ahead and said, look, I've been saying this for a while now, and this is briefly. And ladies and gentlemen, two people started following me. And look, well, one didn't, but one followed me, and the other person just keeps commenting on the same video over and over and over and over again, like they have nothing else better to do. But hey, I'm gonna, I'll be back. I'll pull back and hey, let them talk. Look, I learned something about people on the left. If they comment on your video, that shows TikTok that people are engaging in your video. So, hey, it's quicker I go viral. So we're still trying to make it to 1,000 on TikTok. If you can, please go follow me at The Cajun Conservative Show on TikTok. You can also follow me on YouTube at The Cajun Conservative, Facebook at The Cajun Conservative, and on Twitter, The Cajun Show. Apparently, The Cajun Conservative was already taken. All right, so let's get into Thursday night. Ladies and gentlemen, by far, this was one of the most entertaining debates of the year. Now, look at this. We've already had 3 Republican presidential candidate primary debates where you had everybody except the front runner up there. And we already said this. It is a continuation of everything in these presidential debates. It is always, oh, well, Trump is not the guy, but we should implement Trump policies. Even the most anti-Trump candidate in the Republican presidential race is Chris Christie, and he has even said multiple times we need to add back in Trump policies. So Trump ain't the man, but his policies are good. Let's go ahead and implement Donald Trump's policies. Ron DeSantis, who is my favorite, I like Ron DeSantis for president of the United States. Even Ron DeSantis, and that's one thing, I will never say this too much about Gavin Newson, but I did agree with him on this debate where he made the comment to Ron DeSantis, like, you're running for president, you're losing. And, you're trying to out-Trump Trump. And there's no way you can out-Trump Trump. Trump is one of them people that how they say, God created him and destroyed the mold right after. Donald Trump is one of them unique people that they come around once in every so many years. Like we can use, for example, Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh was one of a kind. Rush Limbaugh, there was nobody like Rush. The closest comparison we can maybe have to Rush is Tucker Carlson, in my humble opinion. But Ben Shapiro can't do what Rush did. Dan Bongino can't do what Rush did. And look, I'm not trying to criticize these men. I listen to these men. Same Candace Owens. Candace Owens can't top Rush Limbaugh. You can't. There's certain people that God put on this earth, and they're unique. There will never be another one like them. And Donald Trump is one of them people. Donald Trump is a one-of-a-kind politician. And that's what Ron DeSantis is doing. Now, going back to the debate, though, like I said, there was 3 presidential debates. I watched one. I didn't even watch it all the way. I recorded it because I wasn't home. At the other 2, I saw highlights and I saw things that were happening. But I really wanted to watch this one. I remember when they first started talking about Ron DeSantis versus Gavin Newsom, and they were talking about this debate, and Sean Hannity said they both agreed to be on there. I could not wait. I almost missed it because I don't know why they didn't advertise this a lot more. I don't know why the media didn't promote this more. Oh, hold on. Yes, I do. Because they knew Ron DeSantis was going to go ahead and get the better end of the deal on this one. Also, you don't want to go ahead, media don't want to go ahead and cover their competitors. But Fox News, and it's not all Fox News. Yeah, Fox News had a part in it, but Sean Hannity went ahead and put this all together. Now, let's talk about Sean Hannity before we get into the candidates, because, ladies and gentlemen, we finally saw a true conservative moderator. Now, there is some people that said, look, we wish he would have been a little bit more fair. We wish he would have, said some negative things about Florida. I was talking to a friend of mine, and they told me that they said it was good debate, but they wish Sean Hannity would have just went ahead and talk about the failures of Florida. I was like, well, what failures in not New Orleans? Oh Lord, Florida. And I was like, well, what failures of Florida? There's really none that you can go ahead and talk about. And ladies and gentlemen, Sean Hannity did his job. Sean Hannity didn't do like a lot of people on the left, the moderators do. They pull stuff out of their rear end to try to make the Democrat candidate look good. Sean Hannity pulled from reliable government sources, the CDC, the Census Bureau, and all this stuff. He pulled out facts, and you knew who was and going to the candidates or going to the participants of this debate, you knew who was going to benefit just by them numbers. Because like one graphic that Sean Hannity brought out was the people leaving California and going to Florida. Now, fact check and other fact checkers on the and there's a company like that, fact checkers or fact check whatever, went ahead and said that Gavin Newsom was mostly right because when Sean Hannity brought out the chart, immediately Gavin Newsom said, nope, that's not true. And he was trying to make the impression that more people left Florida and went to California, when according to CDC documents and other documents of the Bureau of Censorship, it is totally opposite. More people have left California and went to Florida. One being, and I think this was a hit home for Ron DeSantis, was when Ron DeSantis said, yeah, I met a man. He told me he loved the policies here in Florida. He loved living in Florida. He got low taxes, and he made the statement, Gavin, that was your father-in-law. So Gavin Newsom's own father-in-law moved to Florida. And ladies, that was a big hit. But what got me was, and this shows the ignorance of some of the left. You can show them data. You can show them facts, and they still will not believe it because Gavin Newsom did it. Gavin Newsom went ahead and said, nope, that is not true. More people are leaving Florida and coming to California. And they pull out this big chart or whatever, the fact checkers, whatever. I don't even think they gave data. They was just, yep, Gavin Newsom's right. And that shows that a lot of fact checkers are for the Democrats. Now, I would not be fair if I wouldn't bring this point out. Gavin Newsom did hit a point with Ron DeSantis, as we were talking about him saying, look, you're trying to out-Trump Trump, which Ron DeSantis is. Do I think he's a better fit for the presidency right now? Absolutely. I believe that. But like I said, it's tit for tat right now with Donald Trump. Me with Donald Trump. It's tit for tat. All right, so all my listeners that he's Ron DeSantis, I'm going to turn him off. No, you don't have to turn me off. I'm open to a Donald Trump presidency. Like I said, him and Ron DeSantis is tit for tat right now on my end. But he made the point. He said, look, you're down, I think, 41%. I don't know where he got that number from, but he said Ron DeSantis was down, which is true. And he said, look, both of us are not going to be our nominee for our party. Now, he might be right about Ron DeSantis, but I think, as Ron DeSantis said, a shadow campaign. Now, Gavin Newsom is doing his best to highlight the things that President Biden has done. So that was a lot of this as well. They taught on the border. Gavin Newsom, to his credit, said, "Listen, I'm a border governor, and I think the system needs broken." Now he was accusing Ron DeSantis of busing up immigrants or looking for immigrants to go ahead and send to Martha's Vineyard, which Ron DeSantis has done that. Greg Abbott has done it, and multiple governors have sent illegal immigrants to cities that said, hey, if y'all don't want them, y'all bring them to us. Governors did that. Now it's like, oh, no, y'all need to keep them. He went ahead and made that point. Let me see what else I could go ahead. Income tax rates. Fox News, Sean Hannity showed a graphic talking from and quoting the Tax Foundation data, which highlighted how Florida has a zero income tax rate across all incomes, while California has graduated income tax between 1% to 13.3%. Florida has also lower state and gasoline tax compared to California. He asked about that. DeSantis made a comment. How many people leave Florida to go to California because they pay low taxes? I'm not seeing that. Are people going from Florida to New York because they pay less taxes? Of course not, DeSantis replied. They come to Florida because they pay lower taxes. We don't even have an income tax, and yet California has the highest sales tax than we do. And Ron DeSantis goes ahead and breaks that down. Let me see. The two governors sparred about handling of the pandemic. That was one of the big issues of this debate. Ron DeSantis was like, hey, I started this up. We opened it up and we had less cases and all this stuff. And while Gavin Newsom was like, no, you should have kept everything down. You killed multiple people. And they like I said, they covered a lot in this hour and a half debate. And I don't have enough time to go ahead and break down every single thing they talked about. We have other stories I would like to talk about. But ladies and gentlemen, on the back end, because like I said, I brought out a lot of stuff, what I seen, what I can remember on the fly. But I want to talk about the overall debate. Who won this thing? Well, it was very easy, Ron DeSantis. Now, and like I said, I want to be fair on this show. He did have a conservative moderator. He had a lot of the facts pointed to his side. So Gavin Newsom really struggled. He did hit a couple of points home. He cut off a lot of Ron DeSantis, but we can't, say, because there was a commentator I heard on Fox News talking about how Gavin Newsom kept on interrupting Ron DeSantis. Well, Ron DeSantis did the same thing. Sean Hannity had to ask him multiple times, look, Gov, please, sirs, y'all stop. I don't want to be the referee between y'all two, but y'all need to stop and you need to respect yourself. But these two guys just don't like each other, so it's hard to get them in that type of debate and not have fireworks go off. Also, in a national audience. So, but overall, Ron DeSantis looked very well. If Ron DeSantis could ever get just a little snip of what he did last Thursday night against Gavin Newsom in the other presidential debates, I think he would gain steam. There's a reason why Nikki Haley is moving up on Ron DeSantis. It's because Nikki Haley is showing the authority in the debates. She's not afraid to call people out. She's not afraid to disagree with them. And that's why Nikki Haley's coming. A lot of people seeing her as tough. Why you think people like Donald Trump? 'Cause a lot of people that I talk to, when they say, well, we like Donald Trump because he's tough. He stands on the issue. He stands for people because he's tough. He's fighting for us. They want that tough person. And Ron DeSantis looked tough Thursday night. Gavin Newsom, the show that he was I don't want to disrespect the governor of California, but he's a slimy snake. Did not believe facts, did not want to go. He went around almost every question Sean Hannity asked him. I'm going to use an example. Look, the simplest questions. One question Sean Hannity asked, what do you like about your counterpart's state? Ron DeSantis said, basically, look, I love the beaches. I love California's coastline. I just love California and their site and all that stuff. And gave a glowing recommendation to go to California. When Ron DeSantis, when Sean Hannity asked Gavin Newsom this, Gavin Newsom commended the governor of Florida about his family and how he loves America, and he didn't even answer the question, what do you like about the state of Florida? It's like Gavin Newsom was programmed not to answer a question. It was either attack or spew out false information about his state. And ladies and gentlemen, it was just it was a slugfest. I like debates like that where they let the candidates or the participants talk and not being disrespectful. But ladies and gentlemen, it was just Ron DeSantis. It was his night to shine. Now, I'm also going to bring out this point too, because there was some people that said, well, Ron DeSantis looks strong because of a conservative moderator. We already touched on this issue, how Sean Hannity is one of the most conservative men out there. But ladies and gentlemen, Gavin Newsom got a taste of his own medicine when he goes in front of a debate when you have a liberal moderator. Liberal moderators always pull information that will help the Democratic candidate. And look, like I said, I thought Sean Hannity did I thought he did a great job. I thought he did well. But ladies and gentlemen, overall, like I said, Ron DeSantis, he knocked it out the park. Now, on a different note, I wish they would do something like this again. But Ron DeSantis picks a moderator and Gavin Newsom picks a moderator. Because a lot of these debates, because like I said, one of the subjects that I ran across with talking about this with people. Oh, Sean Hannity was helping Ron DeSantis. Are you hear of a debate where they ask NBC or somebody from the left and he or she helps the Democrat candidate? Look, props to the Republican National Convention for their next the Republican presidential debate. I think the fourth one of the year. They have Megyn Kelly. They have a person from Newsmax, a woman, and then there's one that's supposed to be like a moderate. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a perfect setup for to me, that's a perfect setup for a debate. You have one conservative, you have one moderate, and you have one left-leaning nut on the end. So that's the best. If they would have did something like that, I think it would have been a little bit more. It would have been a cherry on the cake if they could have done that. But look, it was Sean Hannity's show. It was Sean Hannity's 2 hours. Sean Hannity took 2 hours to do this, and I think, like I said, I think he hit it out of the. If I had to give him a grade, maybe A. I won't give him an A+. Ron DeSantis, I'm not going to grade the candidates. I'm just because. I'm biased on that. I'm a Ron DeSantis supporter. But, ladies and gentlemen, Ron DeSantis hit it out the park. I thought Ron DeSantis did a great job. And, ladies and gentlemen, if he could debate like that in the Republican primaries debates, I think he would get a lot more following. But and I understand why you don't debate like that, but he did a great job. And if that's the guy we want for president. That's the guy that goes up against cancel culture. That's the guy that goes ahead and fights the establishments. That's the one that people want to elect. And look, even that, I think he would make a great vice president candidate. But unfortunately, Donald Trump is not going to ask him because he likes calling Ron DeSantis names, even criticized him on this debate. And ladies and gentlemen, that's an issue we need to fix as a Republican Party. Unfortunately, we can have a conversation where we disagree. But like overall, I thought the whole debate was entertaining. I thought the debate was informative. And I thought both the candidates did a real good job. Well, the participants, because one's a candidate, one isn't. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back in a few moments, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac Hayes here. I'm here to talk to you about Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. I've been part of the trucking industry for a few years now, and I know the importance of finding a company that won't just sell you a truck or piece of equipment, but will take the time to know you and help you through the process and checking in on you after the sale. That's why we are proud to announce our partnership with Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales is a family-owned and operated pre-owned truck and trailer dealership in Lafayette, Louisiana, who have been serving Acadiana for over 40 years. They offer full service, parts and accessories, and financing. They also buy used trucks of all makes and models. You can visit Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5 at their location at 3010 Northeast Evangeline Thruway, or visit their website, SmithTruckSales.com. You can also give them a call at 337-234-0557 and let their friendly and experienced staff take care of all your truck and trailer needs. Smith Truck and Equipment Sales. Tell them the Cajun Conservative sent you.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hub, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. One more thing on the debate from Thursday. Now, GOP Josh never reached back out to me. I was introduced to GOP Josh a few months ago. Great young kid. I think he's 17 now. He started his podcasting career at the age of 15 and has grown a great following. He has been invited by Trump to Mar-a-Lago, and I follow GOP Josh online. And look, credit to GOP Josh. He does a good job. He don't have the following he has and his radio network for anything. Now, in his defense, he was 15 when he started. He had plenty of time to just focus on his social media. It's the same thing with Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast. A lot of people are like, "Oh, Mr. Beast got I think 200 million followers." Yeah, but Mr. Beast started this when he was 15 in his house. He didn't have to pay bills. He didn't have to go ahead like me. I started late. Okay, I think I started when I was 28. Doing this, I'm 31 now. No, probably I can't do math real well. I apologize. But I started in my late 20s. That's with a family. That's with ministry. That's with a full-time job. All that. And ladies and gentlemen, I've done a great job. You're part of my audience. You know, you've seen the growth. If you've been here from the beginning, our show is growing. But I always thought, man, what if I could just focus on that? And Josh did that. Josh, Mr. Beast, and all of them, they're examples. If you can fully dedicate yourself to social media or this type of content creation, hey, you could do a good job. Now, Mr. Beast don't do politics. He has been in the political realm. You get what I'm saying? But GOP Josh is a commentator just like myself, a podcaster and all. But I reached out to Josh on Twitter a few times this Thursday night because apparently he was watching the debate. His candidate wasn't on there, but he was watching the debate. And small man syndrome. And he was just criticizing Ron DeSantis, ladies and gentlemen. Look, that's a pet peeve of mine. Come on, man. Look. I'm not trying to call out GOP Josh, all right? But I just look. You're falling into the MAGA. Look, I'm trying to say that with all respect. You're falling into the Donald Trump syndrome of, hey, if it ain't Donald Trump, nobody else can do it. And that's not true. Ladies and gentlemen, what if Donald Trump is not the nominee? Look, I believe he will be, but you have people like GOP Josh criticizing Ron DeSantis when if Donald Trump if Donald Trump is not the nominee and Ron DeSantis is, what you gonna do? Stay home? No, you're gonna go to full support for Ron DeSantis. And ladies and gentlemen, look, I understand the debates like Nikki Haley and with Vic and okay, that's headlights, that's clickbait. But ladies and gentlemen, look, GOP Josh, you can find my email. You can email me on the website if you're listening to this. I doubt GOP Josh is listening to this. But ladies and gentlemen, it just, and look, like I said, I like GOP Josh. For the shows I've listened to, he has done a good job. But ladies and gentlemen, like one time he had a Ron DeSantis person and a Nikki Haley person, and he was the Trump person on there, and was criticizing everybody. And look, you don't do that. You don't look. I have guests on this show, and I have disagreed with guests on this show already. But I did not go ahead and criticize them on the open mic. And look, it was a good example. The liberal trucker. I sat here with an hour and a half on a special episode with the liberal trucker. I did not agree with the liberal trucker. We talked. We had a good conversation. It was all on video. You can watch it on YouTube. But I didn't criticize him, and he did not criticize me. We both disagree with each other. But this is one of the problems with the Republican Party. You cannot agree to disagree. And ladies and gentlemen, just thinking about it, look, Ron DeSantis was targeting Gavin Newsom. He should. But for people like Donald Trump making a statement that Ron DeSantis only looked like he was thirsty for attention and like he was an OnlyFans model, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump does not have to do that. You are leading by 41% of the vote. Or whatever, you have over 50, almost 50% of the vote for the Republican Party. Why the heck go and throw the personal jabs? Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's wrong with the Republican Party. And look, like I said, I'm not trying to. Some of my listeners might listen to GOP Josh. This might be the first time you ever heard of GOP Josh. But that was one thing I did do on Thursday night. GOP Josh did attack Ron DeSantis, and I came back and said, why? Why are you doing this? Now, GOP Josh, he doesn't have to, but he didn't respond. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't respond to everything on social media either. I got my one video hit 13,000 views. My biggest video on TikTok. I'm happy about that. I've had, I think, over 100 comments. I can't reply to every single comment. And there's people that ask me specific questions on there. I don't respond. I don't have time to respond. It's not that I don't want to respond. But ladies and gentlemen, just something that I wanted to talk about. All right, a lot of stuff is happening on Capitol Hill, and one is that Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House, and Matt Gaetz, Congressman of the 1st District of Florida, went ahead and threw jabs, and as fierce rival continues. And this is a quote from Kevin McCarthy. He belongs in jail. Now, both these men went ahead and appeared on respectable media platforms. And it was asked to Kevin McCarthy about the situation with the Republicans in the House and the congressmen and people in Florida. And McCarthy just said he was quoting to Politico. You have a cross-section of the delegates, McCarthy told Politico. When asked about the House Florida Republicans, you have Gaetz, who belongs in jails, and you have serious members. McCarthy criticism appeared to be referencing the ongoing probe of Gaetz by the House Ethics Committee into allegations of sexual misconduct and misuse of his funding. Now, McCarthy is sore at Gaetz. I'm using old phrases there, sore, because, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Gaetz was the one that ousted Kevin McCarthy. Anybody else? And look, I didn't agree with Gaetz. I've been saying, now I'm starting to think, hey, I think this was a good idea because Mike Johnson is a 10 times better, more Speaker of the House for the Republican Party than Kevin McCarthy was. Gaetz later hit back at McCarthy, telling the outlet those who those are tough words from a guy who sucker punches people in the back, referring to recent allegations that McCarthy assaulted Representative Tom Butcher, Representative Tennessee, by elbowing him in the kidney. The only assault I committed was against Kevin's fragile ego, he added. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy never had a great relationship. But this is one of the reasons that we have trouble in the Republican Party. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have Republicans fighting amongst Republicans. And look, I'm going to quote you the Bible. I'll give you a spiritual lesson right here. The Bible said a house divided against itself cannot stand. You have to work together. And it adds on to what I was saying earlier about another podcast creator. That's how I'm going to say it. That if you don't work together, you're not going to get nowhere. And this is the problem. And look, I like debates. I like primaries. I think we need to do them. But ladies and gentlemen, this bickering, why not just run on your record? Why not just run on your hey, this is what I done, and this is what I disagree with the other guy. If you agree with me, come on my side. No, it's personal attacks. And ladies and gentlemen, this is happening all over the Republican Party right now. The Republican Party is so divided. And look, they can go on TV and say, we're united. No, you're not. Now, that's what Mike Johnson has a big problem with this division. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin McCarthy and Matt Gaetz need to get together and work out their differences. Now, I can understand the ethics committee looking into Matt Gaetz because there was some allegedly sexual assaults on his part, and if he is guilty, he needs to step down. But ladies and gentlemen, it just them going on TV and fighting like this is just going to fuel the fire of division amongst the Republican Party, not the nation. The nation's already divided. The nation's already divided because it's red versus blue, it's white versus black. It's all this, and you have the division. It is divided in this nation. But ladies and gentlemen, this right here, this does not need to be brought out. But Matt Gaetz and Kevin McCarthy are still at each other's throat. And I understand. I would be mad too if I was Kevin McCarthy. But Matt Gaetz felt like Kevin McCarthy did not do his job. Because Kevin McCarthy did promise Matt Gaetz a lot of stuff. And it didn't happen. Matt Gaetz did not, the House Conservative did not get everything they wanted. We also see this. Like I said, look, hey, I disagreed with Matt Gaetz at first, but it's starting to work out. Mike Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, is doing a hell of a job as Speaker of the House. He's getting stuff done. We should have an impeachment vote in 2024. Kevin McCarthy should have had this thing I don't know how long ago. But to please the establishment and to please the more moderates in the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, oh, we're not going to worry about this right now. We're going to worry about that down the line. We're going to tell the American people we're working. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why he's mad. Kevin McCarthy thought he would go in there and he would have the run of the show. And Matt Gaetz said, you have to answer to us. And with the slim majority, ladies and gentlemen, talking about slim majorities, Representative George Santos, Republican in New York, is no longer a member of Congress. The House voted 311 to 114 Friday morning to expel him in the first House I can't talk. To remove him in the House, the first House member to be removed since 2022. Simple. I can't read all these big words. The historical vote set a new president in the House. Santos departs even as he has not been convicted of a crime and has pleaded not guilty. This all came on the results of the House Ethics Committee. They did an investigation and they felt that George Santos did something wrong. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have not been talking about this story. I think I brought it up maybe twice before, once or twice. And George Santos is a representative in New York. He was elected falsely. He said some things and people believe him, but he was still elected. And he was thinking about running again. And a lot of the Republicans were like, we can't go ahead and do this. Now, I'm gonna make this point for the ethics wise, the Republican Party's probably did right. Because you have 221 Republicans, 114 vote, which means that I think right under 100 or a little over 100 Republicans went ahead and voted to expel him. That they did that probably for ethical reasons. Okay, this man lied. This man does not deserve to be part of the Congress, so we should remove him. Now, this is where I'm gonna. This is why this is the trouble for the Republican Party, because now their slim majority just got a little slimmer. Think about it, okay? And look, I'm not saying he should have stayed there. If he did something wrong, he needs to be removed. But ladies and gentlemen, he was expelled without even being convicted. He didn't go to court yet for these crimes that he has committed. And like I said, it was an ethical thing, okay? The Republicans that voted against him probably thought, look, we can't have a man like this sitting in the halls of Congress, an honorable establishment like the halls of Congress. We need honest people. And I say to that, every one of them should resign, because there's not an honest bunch. There's not an honest one in there. It reminds me of a story. Ronald Reagan was walking through the cemetery one day, and he saw a gravesite with a headstone that read, "Here lies an honest man and a politician." And Ronald Reagan said, "Hey, Nancy, look, two men buried in the same grave." There ain't an honest man and a politician, ladies and gentlemen. And look, I know politicians. Some of them are real good friends. Some of them I considered they're honorable, but ladies and gentlemen, is there really an honest politician? You have to scratch your head. Naturally, probably not. And ladies and gentlemen, they were like, the Republicans like, we can't have this in Congress. But it cut down the majority lead. Now, this is why the Democrats voted against George Santos. They can use the excuse that this is wrong. He needs to be expelled because he did something wrong, and he needs to face the punishment of the Congress. But there's a problem with that, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to talk about it right here. There's some people calling for Jamal Brown. Let me see. I think that's who that is. Jamal Bowman. Correction, Jamal Bowman. And even some are asking for Mayorkas to be held accountable. Even some were calling for Biden, because, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat Party is saying, look, that George Santos, he's bad, he's evil, he broke laws, he needs to go. But you have a man like Jamal Bowman, who pulled a fire alarm, admitted he pulled a fire alarm, and even pleaded guilty. You're not hearing him being expelled from Congress, and it has been asked. The Daily Caller wrote an article. It said he's been convicted. House Republicans throw their sights on Jamal Bowman after George Santos is expelled. And it says after George Santos was expelled from House on Friday, several Republican members of Congress said that Democrat Representative Jamal Bowman of New York should face a vote of censure or being expelled by the House following his pleading guilty to the misdemeanor. They told the Daily Caller News Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, they're calling for it. Now, will the Democrats go ahead and do what they did with George Santos and say, yes, he's been convicted of a crime? See, George Santos wasn't convicted, and we still need to go get him out because it does not look right. Well, you have a man that was convicted, and you even have the senator. I can't think, because John Featherman said that he needed to be ripped out. He needed to go ahead and be removed from the Senate. Well, Chuck Schumer, go ahead and do it. At least the Republicans know that John Featherman would vote, but John Featherman would probably, I didn't mean to say that on The View. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why the Democrats went ahead and voted for George Santos to get out. And they're not going to vote for nobody else to get out, especially on their own party, because it helps them with their majority. There's that slim majority that they could fight on. And ladies and gentlemen, it's sad that we got. Now look, did George Santos do something wrong? I'm gonna shock you. I believe he did. The Ethics Committee found some stuff that is led by Republicans. There's tons of reports, but this man has pleaded not guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened to innocence? You're innocent until proven guilty. That concept is slowly moving away from America, because a lot of people in America rather say he's guilty than find the evidence to prove he's not guilty, and it's not supposed to be like that. The prosecutors, the people that are charging any individual in a crime, needs to prove he did the crime, not to prove The defendant's lawyer don't have to prove he didn't do it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the only issue I have with this. And ladies and I think the Republic, look, and I don't know what Mike Johnson had to call the vote. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what Mike Johnson's vote was on this, but that was one of the big stories this week, that George Santos was expelled. This is the first time it happened since 2002, over 20 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, but the Republicans are fighting amongst themselves. Look, this was a split vote between the Republicans. 114. Well, and I say Republican, but I think majority of Republicans vote because they realize, hey, this is gonna cut our majority, and we need every vote. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if it was the opposite, there wouldn't have been no Republicans voting against him. Cause look, a little history lesson. Look what they did with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky. I didn't have no sexual relationship with that woman. You remember that? But guess what? Come to find out, yeah, he did. Did the Democrats remove him out of office? No. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why you have to be innocent until proven guilty. Because we had the facts with Bill Clinton. But on that note, like I was going back to my point, Democrats didn't remove, even with all the evidence against Bill Clinton, they did not remove him. Why? Because Democrats will stick together no matter what. Republicans, on the other hand, basically this whole concept of the story of this segment, Republicans will turn their back on one another, while Democrats grab the popcorn, watch the show, and say, we never do that. And it's sad. It's sad as a Republican Party we have to go through that. It's sad as Republicans. I'm not an elected official, but ladies and gentlemen, it's sad that me being a Republican have to watch the Republican morons in Washington fight amongst themselves instead of getting something done. It's sad, folks. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back in a moment, so please stay tuned. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here, and I'm here to tell you about a great company called Give-A-Derm. There's a lot of skincare products out in the market today, but none like Give-A-Derm. Give-A-Derm is a great American Christian conservative company that prides itself in making skincare products that will help your skin to stay healthy. Not like other skincare products that have toxins and chemicals that can hurt your skin. Do you know what goes on your skin is in your bloodstream in 30 seconds? So you want to be careful what you put on your body. That's why Give-A-Derm products are made with all natural ingredients to keep your skin healthy. My family has used Give-A-Derm products, and we love it because it works. If you would like to try Give-A-Derm and experience this great American-made product, go into the description of this episode. There you'll find a link to Give-A-Derm and see what they have to offer you. At checkout, use the promo code BGSmedia10 to get 10% off your product. Thanks, guys.
You're my peace of mind when this old world seems to get me down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show today. I don't want to say I want to toot my own horn, but ladies and gentlemen, I need to toot my own horn. Remember maybe like 4 episodes ago, I came out and I told everybody about the Hamas and Israel ceasefire. I asked the question, was this the right thing to do? And I thought this was not the right thing to do. The deal was lopsided to begin with. It's always funny how, and I got criticized with this the other day on TikTok because I put a video out, like I said, with Marco Rubio, who I don't agree with that much. But Marco Rubio went ahead and he told some people that this was Hamas' fault. And people were like, don't you care about the babies? Don't you care about people dying? And Marco Rubio said what I've been saying, I don't know how long. Hey, this is Hamas's fault. Hamas shouldn't have started a war. And I had people on TikTok criticize me, especially some people that are pro-Hamas. Tell me I'm listening to the Western news. I should listen to Hamas's news, the people that kill babies and kidnap babies and, assault women in the streets and kill them after. That Hamas we should take the word for. But anyway, going back to where like I said, I told him I'm gonna toot my own horn. When I say I'm right, I'm right. I said in that episode, guys, it would not surprise me that we get a report that Hamas broke the ceasefire. And it was briefly broke the other day because both sides were saying they broke the ceasefire. But ladies and gentlemen, it was extended. And I think it kept, as long as Israel was getting hostages back, they were trying to keep it going. But the terrorist group Hamas, the overnight Iranian-backed terrorist group, once again broke a ceasefire with Israel by launching attacks against soldiers in the Gaza Strip and targeting civilians in major urban areas with rockets. Ladies and gentlemen, I was right. Cause who benefited from this ceasefire? It wasn't Israel. It was the Gaza Strip and the people in the Gaza Strip, but mostly Hamas. Ladies and gentlemen, Hamas hides in hospitals and in mosques. Ladies and gentlemen, they go ahead and they're cowards. They hide behind innocent civilians. And this ceasefire, because they were losing ground, they were losing places to put themselves at, they needed a ceasefire to go ahead and redirect their attack and to get ready for Israel. So they can plan an attack. And ladies and gentlemen, this did not benefit Israel. I'm sorry I said that. Well, no, I'm not sorry. Just I predicted. I saw it. This ceasefire benefited Hamas. Now they got soldiers that came out of prisons from Israel. They moved more down south. They probably found a few more hospitals to hide in. Ladies and gentlemen, and now that they think they're strong enough, they rested a little bit. Now they can go ahead and attack Israel while Israel's on a ceasefire. And this is what gets me upset about this whole Hamas and Israel thing. Because like I said, I got criticized last week on TikTok. Some foolish TikTok user, as I called a lot of leftist baboons, went ahead and said the reason this October 7th attack happened was because Israel went ahead and attacked the mosque. Did my research, was not true. But you have ignorant, stupid, leftist-leaning baboons like that trying to make their case. Israel's fault. And look, we're talking about this, and it's not going to be out until not this Wednesday, but next. We decided to talk about this on Brothers Just Searching. And we're going to go into depth of who really owns the land in Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, that was given to Israel. First by God and then the United Nations or whatever in 1960. Trying to remember when they became an, I think 68. They had a war the next day. But ladies and gentlemen, you have tons of people. Oh, Israel's oppressing the Gaza Strip. Oh, Israel's oppressing the West Bank. Oh, Israel did not do anything. October 7th, just like this ceasefire, guess who shot the first? Who fired the first shot? Who went ahead and target Jewish people? It wasn't Israel. Israel didn't wake up one day and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, hey, let's shoot a rocket into the Gaza Strip and let's fluster out the Hamas terrorists so we can go get him. Israel has not started a fight. But Hamas did. But like I said, you have liberal baboons. And I'm sorry I'm insulting some of you liberals out there, but y'all need to be told. Y'all believe anything that comes out of the liberals' mouth. And one of them is, well, Israel needs to calm down. Israel's pushing too hard. Man, I hope nothing ever happens in America. You have the Democrats, yeah, the liberals, yeah, let's go get them. What about the civilians? Heck on the civilians. Let's go get them. But Israel's trying to protect themselves. And you have America. You need to worry about the civilians. You have all the left. Oh, I say America. Most of the left. Oh, you need to protect the civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Israel needs to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth. This is why. And I promise you, if Israel takes over the Gaza Strip, Ladies and gentlemen, then people are going to live in peace. Then people are not going to, yeah, Israel will be in charge, but ladies and gentlemen, they're going to live in peace. It goes to, like, you know, I'm going to use for example, and look, this is how propaganda works. And I've seen some of the videos. You have some of the hostages, bye, terrorists, bye, laughing, bye. And one user on TikTok, on one of my last videos, see, they were happy to leave. They didn't want to leave. I'll be smiling and waving bye too if I'm getting away from misery. And also, it's been confirmed that Hamas told those hostages, you better wave and you better smile and tell us bye. Because if not, you're not going to go. That ain't loving, caring people. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this conflict. Yeah, look, I'm not encouraging violence. But how do you take care of evil? You annihilate them. And that's what Hamas is. These people are just pure evil. And for them to go ahead and catch Israel off guard, and when they ask, oh, please, another ceasefire. No ceasefire. None. Yeah, but Israel got to be compassionate. Why? Every time Israel helps Hamas out or tells Hamas, hey, we're going to give you a ceasefire, they go ahead and turn their back on them. It's kind of like that person that, and I think this is a good analogy, is that person or that relative that you got that don't do nothing with their life. And they come ask you, hey, man, you can spot me $20. And you give them $20, no problem. And at the first chance they get, they stab you in the back. Or they talk bad about you. But every time they come, you give them $20. And somebody's like, well, why are you giving $20? Well, we're trying to show them that we're trying to help them. After a while, that gets old. When they come for $20, they, well, you want $20 after you talk bad about me to this person and that person? I helped you and you're going to go ahead and stab me in the back? I think that's a good analogy, in my humble opinion. But ladies and gentlemen, Israel needs to just say stop. Israel just said, then you say, look, stop. Y'all done. We're not giving you no more. We're not giving y'all no more ceasefire. Y'all can ask all y'all want. Y'all not getting it. All right, let's move on to another story. And ladies and gentlemen, the NFL, for some reason, is getting a lot of highlights on the Cajun Conservative Show. Now, look, I like football. This afternoon, I say this afternoon, at the time of this recording, it's Sunday afternoon. My poor Saints. And look, I'm not trying to talk. Look, I can talk about sports. If y'all want me to talk about sports, comment on the section. I'll talk about sports every so often. But my Saints, Derek Carr's hurt. Jameis Winston, don't even get me started on that. The Saints lost. That's basically what I can tell you. But week 13, week 14 is my calls, my cleats. And this is where NFL players choose an organization and they get a customized cleat made for that organization. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is some real good organizations that some of these NFL players do. Now, there is some of these players that will promote a group with the LGBTQ or trans, or they will support atheist groups or so. You get what I'm saying? Some type of group, okay? And look, the media in the NFL don't look down on them. They're supporting a good cause. They're making light of this, and the media praises when a football player wears his cleats in a way that will support a left-leaning agenda, a left-leaning point. But what about Christian athletes that wear my cause, my cleats? You know what happens to them? You know what happened to them? They get criticized. Now, some of you're probably listening on the left saying, Isaac, there's no story like that. Really? Let me show you the report. Fox News went ahead and went ahead and brought out this report earlier today. Christian group appreciates support as Commanders players face scrutiny over cliques. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Lost the story. Okay. Hit that wrong button. Anyway, oh, what's this? Okay. All right, but going back to the story. I'm sorry, sidetrack. Washington Commanders cornerback Kendall Fuller used the NFL's My Cause, My Cliques campaign to express support for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes during Sunday's game against the Miami Dolphins. Now, that's nice. Ladies and gentlemen, a Christian, I'm assuming Mr. Fuller is a Christian, decided to go ahead and My Cause, My Cliques for the FCA, or Fellowship of Christian Athletes. The list of which causes NFL players would support during Week 13 and 14 of the season was released last month. As Week 14 crept closer, Fuller was criticized for his support of the Christian group. Our Sports, a sports website focused on LGBTQ plus issues, scrutinized Fuller for his support of the group. The site described the FCA as having anti-LGBTQ policies and previously criticized the organization's belief system, which reportedly included the marriages between a man and a woman, and a sexual purity statement that condemns sex outside of marriage and homosexual acts. Regardless of the scrutiny, the FCA supported Fuller and the other athletes associated with the group. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes is appreciative of many players who have represented the FCA and the NFL My Cause, My Cliques campaign. The group said in a statement, the Fox News Digital, for 69 years, the FCA has stayed true to its vision to see the world transformed by Jesus Christ through the influence of coaches and athletes. All are welcome to participate in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes activities and events. The FCA believes that all people are great worth and value to God and should be treated with love, dignity, and respect. Now, these people reached out to the Commanders, and the Commanders did not reply. But ladies and gentlemen, a Christian getting scrutinized because he wore a clique or cliques for an organization that says they believe it's marriage between one man and one woman. You shouldn't have sexual intercourse outside of marriage, and you should love God and love your neighbor as yourself. Now, ladies and gentlemen, would have this been an issue if Mr. Fuller went ahead and just, hey, I'm going to wear the group that criticized him out sports. I bet you there would be another report, not on Fox News, but it'd probably be on CNN, Political, MSNBC, Deadspin, some whacked liberal newspaper. This man is bold. This man is wearing cliques, showing his support for the LGBTQ community. Oh, we need to praise him. Oh, we need to give him props where props are due. Oh, we need to. I could just see all the articles written praising this man for if he wore like a group that supported LGBTQ. He'll be held up to the highest pedestal. But because he put on a group, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, on his cliques and show support for that group. Oh, I could just hear him now. Oh, he's a bigot. Oh, he's a racist. Which the man is black, by the way. I'm just saying. But he's a homophobic. All because he believes that marriage is between a man and a woman, or supports a group that believes that way. And look, ladies and gentlemen, look, they do it. When the left sees an athlete stand up for their principles and values, with air quotes, they lift them up. Us commentators need to do that with Christian athletes and conservative athletes. I think it's Monique Isaac, his name is. I can't think of the guy's name. The guy that played basketball and would not take a knee and put his hand over his heart in a basketball game. Still can't play basketball. He can't. He's not on the team. And I believe that's because he stood up. You have baseball players that decided not to wear a gay flag during the games. You have NHL players that are standing up for their faith and not wearing a pride jersey. And you know what? You hear about them just for a snip, and then they're gone away. Like I said, what about Christian athletes? Ladies and gentlemen, what about, why don't we go ahead and call this out what it is? It is the hypocrisy of the left. Now, some might say, well, Isaac, you're conservative and you criticize teams for wearing pride jerseys and athletes standing up for their rights to take a knee on the field. Well, there's a big difference when you coming after when you disrespecting the country that gave you the opportunity. And also in that point, I never disagreed that they had the freedom of speech not to stand up or participate in the national anthem. Do I think it's wrong? Absolutely. But they have the freedom of speech. I disagree with it, but at the same time, any athlete can go ahead and support a LGBTQ group or some type of group that I disagree with on the field. They have the freedom of speech to do so. But you never hear a liberal commentator say that about a conservative. It's wrong. They're hatred. They're bigot. They find everything in the book. You can disagree with it. But ladies and gentlemen, to criticize a man for supporting a group all because he's a Christian and all because it's a Christian organization. Ladies and gentlemen, this shows how far our country have come. And I remember I talked about this a while back on the show about how far our country has come when they promoted the Bible in school to now, if you bring a Bible in school, you think you see the demons manifest. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this nation has forgotten God. This nation has forgotten God. And I'm just, and like I said, we as commentators, Christian conservative commentators, should get on our platforms and say something about it. We should encourage our Christian brothers and sisters that are in these sports arenas to stand up for what's right. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, it does not happen. It does not happen. And it's sad that we've gotten to this point. All right, so I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna end it out. I'd say I wouldn't talk about sports, and I don't talk about sports too much unless it's sports related with politics. But ladies and gentlemen, I gotta get something off my chest, and I'm not gonna take long. Maybe like a minute or two. I might go over a minute or so of the hour, like I normally do. But ladies and gentlemen, and look, if you're from Alabama. If you're from Texas, hey, don't take this offensive, especially in Alabama. What the heck Alabama's doing in the CF playoffs, the college football playoffs? My goodness! Look. My good friend and pastor Stephen Terrio is a diehard Florida Seminoles fan. I need to call him and we can talk about sports a little bit because he might come on and talk about it. But ladies and gentlemen, Florida State did not get in. They were ranked number 4. You had number 1 fall. They should have moved up to number 3. And the excuse of the college football voting committee. Well, their quarterback is banged up, and we don't think they could go ahead and compete and win. Ladies and gentlemen, I know. Look, don't get me wrong. The quarterback for Florida State, can't think of his name at the moment. Number 13, great player. He's not the only one on that football field. He wasn't there last evening or Saturday evening, and they didn't win by a landslide, but they won in Louisville. And ladies and gentlemen, people wonder why I say I don't like college. Look, I love college football, but I don't like college football in the playoff system. Look, I was advocate for that. I didn't have a show at the time, but I would say, look, I wanted a playoff system. But you put the 4 top teams. The 4 top teams are not in there. I agree with Michigan. I agree with Washington. Look, and even to the extent, I will agree with Texas. Ohio State wasn't playing. The number 5 team wasn't playing. So Texas had a great game. They didn't play somebody too shabby, but it was kind of a walk in the park. I watched that game. They were up by 3 touchdowns. But even I could see them going to number 4. But I was blown away today when it came out that Alabama made it. Ladies and gentlemen, and look, I know that ain't politics. I waited until the last moment to talk about this. But I'm going to say it like this. Florida State, you were robbed. And this is why we should have now they're going to a 12 playoff system. But ladies and gentlemen, look, if you're listening and you agree with me, go ahead and comment at the bottom. Should the playoff system be like this? If your conference has a championship, or if you're declared the champion of your conference, shouldn't you be in the playoffs? Think about it, okay? Just think about it. And look, no wild cards, okay? Because as a lot of people are like, well, what about wild cards? What about... No, if you did not make your championship, you should not be in the playoffs. Okay, that's my personal opinion. But just imagine this, okay? And look, it'll be a little bit more football, but I wouldn't mind that. If you win your conference, you go into the playoff system. That would give people like in the Sun Belt Conference, Troy, the opportunity. Troy went 11-2. Why? They're not in the top 10. Ladies and gentlemen, look, Tulane Green Wave. These are local teams, but Tulane Green Waves, they went 11-2 this year. Now, they didn't win their conference. SMU did. That means Tulane couldn't go and SMU could. That would give SMU and Tulane an opportunity to play for the championship. But I learned about college football, especially in the college football playoffs. It's not really about putting the best team in there. Okay, because remember, these are people that vote to put number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. It's not about putting the best 4 teams in that slot. It's about how much money we can make. And ladies and gentlemen, it's funny how I felt. And look, I'm making a prediction right now. It's going to be Texas and Alabama in the national championship. Alabama beat Texas 2 years ago in Texas. Texas went to Alabama, and Alabama got the bricks off, beat up on them. And now they the 2 out of 3 and the national championship on the line. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think these games are planned. But ladies and gentlemen, the CFP, college football playoffs, they got a good shot at getting Alabama and Texas in the national championship. So with that being said, we have to wait and see. If I'm right, I will toot my horn again and tell you I'm right. Now, I'm not right all the time, but I'm right some of the time. With that being said, that finished my rant on sports. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show today. I am happy that you took the time to visit with me today on this episode. If you can, please like and share and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends, email them, text them, Facebook them, whatever way. We are on Apple, Google, Spotify, Rumble, and YouTube, our big 5 platforms. Let's continue to grow the show. We are one of the fastest growing conservative podcasts in America today. Thank you. God bless you. If you remember that Jesus Christ is King, he's coming back. He's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart. Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus, Lord and Savior, just reach out to me. I'll tell you how to meet Jesus, Savior in heaven, your home. Until next time, be blessed. Be encouraged. You have a good one.
And he is the open